Okay, now let's look at the switch statement. So let me open up my default PHP page and save this one as switch.php. All right, so what is the switch statement? The switch statement is almost like an if statement, but it's different because how you write it is you say switch, okay, then you have a value there, then let's open and close brackets, and then we have cases where we test the value, like that. Then here we can have some code and some more code like that with inverted commas, a semicolon there. So this is how a switch statement looks like. So what is this? It says a switch, then you check a value. So you provide a value in here, which is a variable. Okay. Then this statement is going to go through each case and check, let's say value 2. Value 2, that's fine. Value 3 and value 4. The $sign there, like that. Let me save that. So what happens here is that switch will get this value and compare it to all of these in a line. You can have as many of these as you want. Then if, for example, if this value is equal to this value, it's going to execute this code. If it finds this case, it will execute this code, and so on. It's almost like an if statement, but the difference is that this one only checks for if they're equality. It doesn't check for greater than or less than. It's just if this value is equal to this one, then run this code. So let's put some actual readable stuff that PHP can deal with. Let's say value 2. Okay, that would be the result of this statement. Let me add a break tag at the end. Okay, so let me copy that and paste it there and paste it there. So I could leave some space here because white space doesn't matter as usual. So let me give a value, these values, some actual value. Value is equal to 0. Let's do that. Or let me say value is equal to me. So if I say value 2 and value 3, okay. So if I run this, let me run this in Firefox. Actually, this spelling of switch is wrong. Yeah, there we go. All right, so I will run this in Firefox. Let me change that to localhost. Okay. So now the result here is, let me see, the result, that's 2, that's 3, and that's 4. Now, as you notice, it has shown me all of them. So, because they're all correct. So let me just change some of these values. Let me say value, this original value is me. This one is me, and value 3 is me too. Something like that, so that they're different. And still I get the same result. Everything shows up. Why is this? It's because of how the switch statement works. Once it finds a value that's correct, then it keeps running everything from that point onward. So there's 2, there's 3. Let me put 4 here, which says something like value 4, me 3, something like that. So let me try and put this one on 3, for example. So what the result you will see, value 4 is an identified variable. So let me create it here, 4, okay. So let's run this, and you see it shows you from 3 to 4, which is from here to there. So what is happening here is that when the switch statement is comparing, the first place it finds a correct value, it will show everything from that point onward. So if it finds it here, it will show everything down here. It will run every code, this code, that code, that code. If it finds it here, then it will run everything below it. So to prevent that, you put a break. What is called a break, like that, so that it will break out of this. So let's add a break there, and let's add a break there. So in this case, when we add these breaks, we're initially saying just run one of these each. So let's try that again, and you see I can only see one this time. So let me try just the me from the top there. Let's see what happens. And it will just show one value. Now, the advantage of not using a break, sometimes you may want, if value 2 is correct, then you remove the break so that it shows this and this at the same time. So in such a case, you have that. So it's up to you what you want to do, but you have to remember to use the break. So you may not use the switch statement as much as you use the if statement. If statement is more popular because it's more versatile, but there are cases where you need the switch statement instead to make things look more neat. Then you can use the switch statement like this. Now you can also add a default value at the end, like the else for what's this? The else for the if statement. Here you don't need to add a break because usually this is the last item you add. So default means if none of these are met, it will run that. The default, like default like that. So if none of these are correct, now one of them is correct. So let me change it here. Let me add some gibberish to the end. So the condition is not met. And then we go to the default value. As you can see, default is supposed to echo out the word default. So this is how the switch statement actually works. So I'll see you in the next video where we talk about loops and watch things get more exciting.